Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court!
It's really testament to Benjamin Court, but without Benjamin Court enabling him to have intensive physio and a care package put into place, the staff were just wonderful, both himself and for me.
No ifs, no buts, no healthcare cuts.
From a welfare aspect, visitors are essential for recovery, and that's one reason why we have to keep Benjamin Court here in North Norfolk.
Health and social care should be free at the point of use, but it also should be available at the point of use. And I mean, that's the problem at the moment. It just isn't available.
Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court!
That the decision to shut Benjamin Court was wrong, and that decision, we wanted a full review of it and it to be looked at again.
And do you know, I felt as a carer, I was cared for. And it was a brilliant service, and it was local, and it was good.
It was like a miracle. He found clean, calm and orderly atmosphere with welcoming and efficient staff. The family feels sure that Benjamin Court saved his life.
Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court!
It's a precious unit, and we shouldn't let this just go. It needs to be turned back to a nurse-led unit where we can re-able people. That ward was always full. That was always full when that was a nurse-led unit.
Save Benjamin Court!
Then this is about local services, and I'm sick and tired of seeing local services being taken away. But there are so many healthcare reasons to keep it open. We don't have enough of this in North Norfolk.
Ambulances lining up at one door of the hospital, and people unable to get out the other door because there isn't anywhere to send them. We need Benjamin Court back where we want it, here.
What do we want? When do we want them?
Now! We know this is the most obvious and logical provision.
What do we want?
I think we've got to fight for the future. There's every reason to invest in Benjamin Court. There is investment needed there, without a doubt, but we cannot afford to lose that provision.
But don't get rid of Benjamin Court. There's too many folk needing local service in North Norfolk.
Who's NHS?
Our NHS. We should keep plodding on till we get it reinstated because it's such a valuable unit.
Save Benjamin Court!
This campaign needs to succeed. It needs to succeed for the people in North Norfolk now, not just elderly patients, but people who need rehab. And it needs to succeed far into the future. This is the future of the NHS, and we need to do better.
No health care cuts. No ifs, no buts. No health care cuts. No ifs, no buts. No health care cuts.
I was thinking about what to say, but then I went through some emails that I'd had, and there's one from a gentleman who'd written to Health Watch, and some of you might have seen the people from Health Watch who were collecting people's testimonies about Benjamin Court at the library yesterday. They told me they were very busy, a lot of people talking to them. On or about the 13th of March 2023, I was then transferred to Benjamin Court. My leg was still in plaster. I knew my progress would be slow due to various medical issues. Then he said, what a wonderful experience Benjamin Court was. The organisation was good and really worked in harmony with patients in their care. The staff helping me and others recover were absolutely wonderful and dedicated despite poor wages and conditions. For many, it was a vocation. Towards the end of my stay in May 2023, I became aware of rumours that the powers that be at County Hall were going to close Benjamin Court. What really shocked me was the lack of respect and consideration shown to a dedicated workforce. He then went on to say, this month alone I'm aware of 3 elderly men being released from hospital without proper assessment before discharge. 2 of these men are widowers, the other has a wife with advanced dementia. All 3 are badly disabled. And he said, from a welfare aspect, visitors are essential for recovery. And that's one reason why we have to keep Benjamin Court here in North Norfolk. Many elderly just can't get to Norwich easily. Costs, parking issues, Benjamin Court you can get to easily. And he said, this is a question to the powers that be. These are his words, not mine. Where would you rather convalesce? Thus, you owe us, the general population of North Norfolk, that right of having a local, easy-to-access and purpose-built accommodation. To close it would, in my view, be an act of bureaucratic vandalism. What a waste of public money. The applause is for the gentleman, I won't give his name, but the applause is for that gentleman who wrote that and has sent it to Health Watch. So let's hope they've got that message loud and clear.
I have a meeting on Wednesday with all of the people, and many here have helped me to put that meeting together, including Martin and people like David Russell, with help and advice on getting the right decision makers around the table. That includes the ICB, Patricia Hewitt, the chair, Tracy Bleakley, the chief executive, Stephen Coleman, and also the head of the property services team. We asked them a very, very simple question at the meeting back on the 26th of August, that the decision to shut Benjamin Court was wrong for many of the reasons that were outlined on that evening, and that decision, we wanted a full review of it and it to be looked at again. And that will be the first question that gets asked on Wednesday at that meeting. But as many have said to me, that they feel it's been a foregone conclusion. And if that we cannot get a decision re-looked at there, for all of the reasons that have just now been said about slow ambulance times, the discharge problems at the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, then this is about local services. And I'm sick and tired of seeing local services being taken away, such as the Blakeney surgery and now also Benjamin Court. Whether or not it can go to be used for reablement when they make sure and they realise that this decision was wrong, but there are so many healthcare reasons to keep it open, whether it's palliative care, dementia care, a stroke care unit, that we don't have enough of this in North Norfolk. And your campaign today continues to turn the screw and keep the pressure up. People are worried about this decision. They're worried about the winter coming ahead, and I will continue to make sure that the ICB realise that this is a retrograde step along with the social services in North Norfolk.
Thank you very much, sir.
You may have heard some comments that, what's all the fuss about? It's only a building, was said by somebody. You've said it was underused. That's what the NHS said, it was underused. And they're building a much bigger and more effective service. When? What happens with that gap? Only a building, and only our decision makers had decided to consult with people that knew what was really going on. My late husband, Ken, was admitted following discharge for a stroke. He got to Benjamin Court. We had a fantastic GP. I was at the end of my tether, travelling back and forward to Norwich, and I was so glad that he could get his physiotherapy. We could get the ramp up to the door, we could get the chairs and the beds lifted, and it was all cared for. And do you know, I felt as a carer, I was cared for. And it was a brilliant service, and it was local, and it was good. In choosing a move to home care, did our NHS managers, looking at the fact that they said it was underused, well, we've got bed blockages. Why not get folk from other places to come in? As an NHS manager, retired, I think I might have thought of that. You know, it seems a bit if you've got empty beds and a need for beds, what are you doing? I'm volunteering a lot, and I can tell you that carers are on their knees. And I feel that they deserve to be recognised and supported. But don't get rid of Benjamin Court. There's too many folk needing local service in North Norfolk.
We were very displeased at the council officers and the NHS. They're all in this together to close it. And it said in the actual in the secret meeting, we don't need to consult the public. We'll just close it. That's what they think of the people here in Cromer. And that's what they think of everybody. To have a councillor say at a full meeting, from one of your club, Duncan, it's only a building, as Mary said, it's more than a building. And I believe that if you're called it, I can't believe that you didn't know about this, Duncan, and I had to get political because your county council colleagues on the council, your Tory ones, they must have known Duncan. Did they not tell you? I'm very, very surprised. So I'm awaiting further information, which I will release. Thank you.
I have this. It's from a resident of Cromer. This is what she's written about Benjamin Court. Last October, my relative was in Norwich Hospital with sepsis. Gradually, he was cured, but he was too frail to come home. He told he could be shut there for months, as there were no convalescent beds available. He felt so guilty to be bed blocking and said it was like a living hell. Then suddenly a bed became available at Benjamin Court. It was like a miracle. He found clean, calm and orderly atmosphere with welcoming and efficient staff. He began to eat again, started to push himself to walk and read, and his family could visit often. A home assessment was done quickly, and within 3 weeks, he was home again. The family feels sure that Benjamin Court saved his life.
It's really testament to Benjamin Court. My late husband was diagnosed in the Norwich Hospital, and unfortunately his condition wasn't a survivable one. But without Benjamin Court enabling him to have intensive physio and a care package put into place, the staff were just wonderful, both himself and for me, which was very important, and it saved us a 3-hour round trip to visit in the Norfolk and Norwich. Really, without them, he wouldn't have ever got home to at least have end-of-life care in a good, timely manner. So, absolutely excellent care there.
I'm here today for my mother. Went into hospital. She went in, she was given intravenous antibiotics. She was in there a couple of weeks. Then she was sent home to the care of my father, who had dementia. It was a hopeless situation. Within a matter of weeks, she was back in hospital, in and out of hospital, until the day she died. It was about funding, bed blocking, all of the same things that everyone's experiencing with the NHS at the moment. If something like Benjamin Court had been available to her, I'm sure she would have been back on her feet within weeks, and she would have managed the care of my father. All of that was made impossible, and it's really, as far as Benjamin Court's concerned, it's been made impossible for people of North Norfolk. This campaign needs to succeed. It needs to succeed far into the future. This is the future of the NHS, and we need to do better.
As a member of the Pensioners' Convention, of course, we believe that health and social care should be free at the point of use, but it also should be available at the point of use. And I mean, that's the problem at the moment. It just isn't available. What do we do? The NHS declared the Fletcher, and I remember the Fletcher in the old days when that was a working hospital. They declared it not fit for purpose. So they said, no, we don't need the Fletcher. Shut it down. You need a purpose-built building, so they gave us Benjamin Court. Before you knew it, that was handed over into private care and vanished. It has now vanished. Useless. Why did it vanish? Oh, we haven't got staff. So what are these non-existent staff going to do now? We've been told at the meeting, oh, they're going to go out and look after people in their homes when they come back from hospital. I mean, cloud cuckoo land, as far as I'm concerned. Ambulances lining up at one door of the hospital, and people unable to get out the other door because there isn't anywhere to send them. It does make awful good sense, doesn't it, to shut places that would take them. So yes, what do we need at the moment? We need Benjamin Court, back where we want it, here. Proper reablement beds. Right.
Thank you. Well, I just want to start by thanking you all, because you're on the right side here. We know this is the most obvious and logical provision, and we have the most acute need for it in the next 35 years. And many of us here have had first-hand experience working with patients. It's so nice, of course, to see some former staff members who worked previously or formerly at Benjamin Court. But we know this won't work. We've seen patients who have been discharged home, and that has failed within the first week. And that's what's going to emerge here. And some of us are watching the trends very carefully and closely. And we're already seeing patients being discharged, in fact, to short-term care provision in care homes. And that number has grown since Benjamin Court has closed. And you can imagine, can't you, that that individual care bed is probably costing quite a bit more than an individual bed at Benjamin Court. So there is a financial reason here as well, beyond the absolute need for this sort of provision. And I also want to go back to how this decision was made, because I was informed that it was closing. I wasn't given the opportunity to ask for a consultation. The decision had been made. That is no way to do this, and I question the legality of it. I really do. I think we've got to fight for the future. There's every reason to invest in Benjamin Court. There is investment needed there, without a doubt, to help deal with the modern patient, new oxygen lines, but we cannot afford to lose that provision. And so I'm asking you to keep up this fight. You're on the right side of history. You're doing the right thing, and we must succeed. Thank you.
Those of you who went to Duncan Baker's public meeting will have heard a senior representative of the Integrated Care Board saying that they would consult with the public about the future use of Benjamin Court. He tried to backtrack on it, but no, it's there in the minutes. They're going to talk to the public. So when I wrote to them to say, what form is this engagement going to take? Not a dicky bird from them. Not a thing. Well, we're not letting it go. We're getting back to them, and we're going to press on, build up our petition campaign. So we want to be there, hand in the petition. By that time, we want every single person in North Norfolk to know what we're fighting for, because the more people know, the more people will speak up. We're absolutely confident of that. So thank you very much for coming. Can we have one last shout? Come on. Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court! Save Benjamin Court! Thank you.